French President Emmanuel Macron has reappointed Sébastien Lecornu as his Prime Minister just days after he quit the post. It's the latest move in a year of political turmoil for France. Mr Macron made the announcement late on Friday, hours after meeting the main opposition parties, except for the leaders of the far left and the far right. Mr Lecornu told French media there weren't many candidates for the job, and he's working on what he hopes will be a free cabinet, not imprisoned by the parties. Our reporter Pierre-Antoine Denis has been following the story.
A lot of shock still in France, because even if, yes, there weren't many names to choose from, they were still maybe not expecting. Many people in France, alongside the media, were not expecting Lecornu to go again for season 2, as they said in France. And it goes even for right-wing papers or left-wing papers. You have Le Figaro, much more of a conservative paper, saying the political crisis continue. And you also have an opinion piece in there by the editor saying Emmanuel Macron is in self-destruction mode, using the government as a hotel room service, having one prime minister after another. And on the left side of the media spectrum, you have Libération saying this is the defragmentation, le délitement. Why? Because, well, less than 24 hours ago, he, as you said, met with all the parties who were potentially keen to form a coalition. But it looked like that after 2 hours of talks, it was an absolute no breakthrough were there, and there was no possibilities. And all the parties left a little bit speechless, as they said, that there was no names from the left as they wanted to, and then therefore Emmanuel Macron had to reappoint Sébastien Lecornu because it seems like it's at an impasse right now.
So what they've got to do now is table a new budget for next year, and they haven't got much time. They've actually made it harder for themselves.
Absolutely, and then it doesn't. What's important to remember here when it comes to France is that Sébastien Lecornu had 3 weeks to form a team, in which that team with him back then already tabled a budget, a proposition of a budget that would be less drastic than François Bayrou, who he replaced earlier this year. And that bill, that budget proposal, has gone through to the French public economy services. Therefore, that means that on Monday, whether he has a team or not, there will be a budget proposal that will be examined by the authorities in France, and then will be eventually voted by the MPs. What's interesting here is that this is a very unique situation where Emmanuel Macron and Sébastien Lecornu has to present that budget as a whole team with his members of the government. That's usually the way it works. But we may not have a government by Monday, meaning there may just be these two men having to front it.
So they'll have to present something that could easily be knocked down then. And what happens if they meet the deadline and nothing is ready?
We'll be in a situation where we had last year, where Michel Barnier put a motion on the table. That motion was then voted for 2 or 3 months, and we were in December when he had to resign because there was an absolute deadlock around the assembly, and this is probably what could happen. Ultimately, we're at a situation here, but when you have the head of the Economic Commission in France saying, how could we change everything in 48 hours? There's no other option. So this is why Sébastien Lecornu, I think, has been reappointed.
Pierre-Antoine Denis.